Coming up on Freedom Hunters.
We've dealt with a lot of real bad guys, you know, your Al-Qaeda members, you know, your extremists. I'm gonna go check out the blind that I'm gonna be hunting in tomorrow morning. Hopefully shoot me a big antelope. Yes, got one finally, third time's a charm, man. Oh, he's down. Specialist Josh Reilly, 332nd Engineers, dump truck unit. I joined the Army because, well, one, it's been kind of a legacy with my family. All my grandfathers have both served. My dad, as well as my stepfather, has served in the Air Force. It's been something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know, I kind of just wanted to serve my country. It wasn't for the money, it wasn't for college, it wasn't for any of that. It's just to be a part of the United States Army. You know, when somebody attacks us, I guess, you know, that kind of made me want to go defend my family as well as my friends, you know, as well as everybody else in the United States, you know. We fight for our freedom, and that's why we live the way we are. Well, when I first got orders, I wasn't really sure because they do a SRP, which means Soldier Readiness Program. I did go back to my civilian job Monday. I worked Monday and Tuesday afternoon, my platoon sergeant called me and told me I had to be in Pittsburgh by 12 o'clock on Friday for the SRP program. At first, it didn't sound like I was going to be deployed right away, and then when I was out processing, I did kind of volunteer. I had from Saturday to Wednesday to prepare, and on Wednesday I shipped out to Fort Bliss. I guess I was kind of excited as well as kind of nervous. I mean, it was kind of, it was unfamiliar feeling. You know, I wasn't really sure what to expect. My duties overseas technically would have been a correctional officer. We were guards at a prison. We did escorts from camp to camp. Most of the time we stayed stationary in our camp. We basically were either tower guards, prison guards. We dealt with a lot of real bad guys, you know, your Al-Qaeda members, you know, your extremist, you know, party cells over there. We didn't really see too much good when we were over there. We got threatened every day. You know, you try not to let it affect you, but you know, everybody kind of has their snapping point. Kind of gotta either take their walk, you know, go cool off. But I mean, yeah, threats are every day, an everyday thing. You know, you basically kind of just got used to it or numb to it, and it wasn't something that you could let affect you because it was something that was constantly going on. I mean, every day you were probably having that multiple times a day. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way they felt towards us. Our whole mission over there was, you know, for one, keep our soldiers safe, you know, everybody that was under our wings safe, and then two, try to keep our detainees safe, you know. We weren't over there abusing the prisoners. We weren't, you know, doing, you know, all the stuff that, you know, was publicized on the news there for a while. You know, that's not what we were about. We were more or less trying to show them that they can do better with their lives, and they can be a, you know, a strong nation if they want to be. But the rioting was definitely pretty interesting sometimes. Got a little eerie every once in a while, but we seemed to get the job done. One of our big riots was a New Year's riot. It didn't seem like it was going to be a riot. You know, they definitely were kind of gathering up in kind of a riot formation, you know, of what we've seen before. They actually thought it was our Christmas because they kept saying law, which law to them means no in Arabic. And they were saying law Christmas to us, but it was actually New Year's Eve. So they kind of gathered up probably around 10 o'clock or so, 11 o'clock, and well, didn't really blow up for a while there. They were just kind of, you know, conversating back and forth, and then all of a sudden it just blew up. You know, we had upscale riots in the camps, and that was a pretty long night. Went on for a while. You know, they would throw their shoes at us, you know, throw whatever they could. They did throw bodily fluid cocktails at us. You know, it was whatever they could. If they could harm us in any way, they were trying to do that. The hardest part of being gone was just, I guess it was kind of talking to your friends, your family, you know, knowing that, you know, some of them are having real good fun times, you know, they're sending pictures of some of the events that they went to. Just missing your friends and your family back home, you know, it definitely put, you know, some stress on you that, you know, I guess unless you were over there and you've been over there, you wouldn't understand. It's just, you know, I guess after a couple months you start realizing, you know, you got, you know, how many more months, you know, and it's just kind of the countdown until you go home. You know, it gets stressful at times, and then sometimes, you know, you can kind of put it behind you because you got a mission at hand that you really don't want to, you know, you don't want to let it affect the mission as well as, you know, because if it affects the mission, it could affect one of your fellow soldiers. So you kind of got to make yourself into a numb situation to where, you know, you get the job done, and sooner or later you're going to make it home and you can have that good time with your friends and your family. My last day in Iraq. You're excited, over anxious, kind of just basically want to get the heck out of there. I don't know, it's, you know, kind of actually overwhelming. You know, you really don't know what's going, you know, you're just ready to get on that plane and get the heck home. You don't want to wait for nothing. You just basically got so much excitement that you're going home. You know, you made it all the way through your whole year safely. You know, you cherish that, and then you just, you know, you don't want to deal with nothing. You just want to get on that plane and go straight to your home. First thing I wanted to do when I got off the plane, give my family a hug, go drink a beer.
Coming up on Freedom Hunters.
We average 80% of our bucks will make Popignon.
Well, this time we got 2 more behind us right now coming in. They're coming in slowly. These are pretty nice buck coming in.
Oh, I was definitely anxious to get back to going back hunting. You know, I've been hunting since I was 5, 6 years old with my father, and, you know, kind of hunted up all the way through the years. I was coming back. We knew we were coming back in September, so I was ready to go home and get my hunting license and kind of get out in the woods. You know, kind of just feel a little bit free again. When we got into Wyoming, we started seeing antelope probably the 3 hours of the trip that it took to get here, and then we got to the camp here, and we've seen antelope almost, you know, constantly, all day, every day. We're going out to, I guess you could basically call it a recon on our hunting position. I'm gonna go check out the blind that I'm gonna be hunting in tomorrow morning. Hopefully shoot me a big antelope.
We're on the Durham Ranch north of Wright and south of Gillette, Wyoming, in the middle of the best antelope country in the world, where we've hunted, our outfit has hunted antelope for 12 years. All archery, and been very successful over the years hunting water holes. Llano Outfitters has been in existence since 1981. We started as an archery-only company for about 10 years, and then I started doing elk, deer, and antelope with a rifle also. We lease 4 ranches in the eastern part of the state, and meals and accommodations and camping is usually included with all of our hunts. We've done some limited elk hunting, but mostly it's deer and antelope. On this particular ranch, we just do antelope with a bow and arrow, and we have another ranch or 2 that we do deer, elk with a bow and arrow and rifle.
I've been hunting here about 7 or 8 years with Jack and his outfit. I've had great success. It's a wonderful ranch because you have undisturbed antelope. It is a working buffalo ranch, so where the buffalo aren't, we do put up the blinds, and we're working on the water holes. He takes about 6 hunters a year. The Durham Ranch here has been in business since about, I think, 1963, and they raise anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 head of buffalo. They do all the packing, distribution, marketing, everything, so it's a one-stop shop for the buffalo.
Over the years, we've had a very high harvest on the Durham Ranch because we don't overshoot our archery and we try to keep the quality as high as possible. We average 80% of our bucks will make Popignon, and we just have that many good bucks around, people are patient. They can get a pretty good one.
I keep coming back because Jack runs a great outfit. This ranch has a lot of spirit behind it. The antelope hunting is fantastic. The accommodations are great. It's a fantastic break from work, and you know, it's an opportunity to come out here and see a lot of different things besides antelope. There's mule deer, white-tailed deer, foxes, bobcats, eagles, ducks. So it's a great time to spend away from the office.
Well, we got rolled into camp here. We met up with the guide and Forrest, the one that kind of set up the hunt for me. We went out to the blind that he had set up for me. Saw some antelope on the way out. There was a couple down grazing around the water hole that I was going to be hunting at. Kind of got in the blind just to get familiarized, you know, comfortable with what we were going to be doing the next morning. I was pretty excited and pretty stoked right away when we got there. It looks like this is going to be the blind we're going to be using. He's telling me right now that our best shots are going to be right over here on this side of the pond, or as well over here on this side of the pond. He also said as well they could walk up right here in between the blind and this little wellhead. They could be right in front of the blind, so it could be a real close shot. We saw a couple when we came in. It's looking pretty promising. I'm actually pretty excited, and I can't wait till tomorrow morning.
Because I know the blind and I know how the animals approach, I was able to tell Josh the areas to expect to see them, to expect their shot to come one place or the other. And they come down a long slope and they see the blind from a long way off. As a consequence, the hunter sees the antelope for a long way off. Sometimes people get nervous because of that. Antelope hunting is unique for a couple of different reasons. They tend to water by watching the younger ones and the does water first, and then the bucks will come in after they're sure that it's safe. They're very alert animals, and it's been my experience over the last 25 years that you have to shoot at them or try to shoot at them when they're not looking. And their eyes are very, very big and alert, and they see at 6 power. So unlike deer who will look away and they look at other animals, the antelope are very alert to the blind. Even though they're not exactly seeing the person in the blind, they know it's there, they know something there. They're very fast, they're very tenacious to life, and if they're not hit exactly right, they can be difficult to find. In the terrain that we're looking at here, you would think it'd be easy to see one, but they can get away, they can get low, they can survive better and tougher than any animal I've ever hunted. You can shoot their legs off and they'll still survive.
Coming up on Freedom Hunters.
Well, this time we got 2 more behind us right now coming in. They're coming in slowly. These are pretty nice buck coming in.
He probably needs to practice his shots a few more times to find out exactly where the heart is.
I think we left the actual cabin here probably about 5:15. We were in the blind probably about 5:30. Sat around, sun came up, probably could start seeing pretty good about 10 after 6. I think we probably saw our first couple antelope probably about 6:30, 6:45.
Oh man, he's big.
It's my shot. I feel ready to take it. Again.
They're nervous.
I'm on him whenever you want. Oh shit.
It skimmed him. He's coming around. It looks like I hit this one a little way too high. I skimmed its back a little bit, and he basically took off and didn't even notice anything happen.
The first one I shot at, he came in with another buck and a couple does. There was 2 of them. I tried to pick the bigger of the 2. I shot. I definitely picked the wrong sight. I barely skimmed him, so I gave him a little bit of a flesh wound, but he ran off and he didn't twitch once. He just kept on running and took off and was completely gone for the rest of the day.
There's a couple back there sitting there. We got a doe on guard behind us. There is an antelope buck back there. Hopefully maybe he'll come back in. But likelihood, I don't know if he's the one that was with this other one. I don't know. Gonna hope for the best, right?
Second one, he was a single buck, came in by himself. He came in, watered around, trotted around a little bit, grazed a little bit, then he came down to the watering hole, about the same exact spot as the first one I shot at.
Tell me when. I'm gonna go for it. Shoot. Yeah. Damn it. I'm shooting high.
I took my shot and it completely missed, went over its back. And I definitely was picking the wrong sights, just got confused on my sight picture.
Well, we had another one come in. Pretty much think